I'm going to do are my eyes. And what I'm going to do first is pick up this Rule shadow by MAC. It's actually an orange shadow, a bright orange shadow. It looks like this. And I'm just going to take this blending brush. It's Ubu number 35 brush. And then I'm just going to pick some of that orange up and run it through my crease. For your cut crease, what you want to do is work on your black cut crease first, and then you do your lid. Because if you're going to put some sparkle on your lid and then you're going to blend everything together, it's actually going to transfer some of that glitter onto your black cut crease, and that's going to make it look really weird. So now you're going to take a small brush. This is number 36 Ubu, something like this. And you're just going to pick up some black eyeshadow. And what you're going to do is you're going to look straight into your mirror, and where your crease is, you're just going to go over that, if that makes sense, with your black eyeshadow. So I'll show you what I mean. So you look straight into your mirror, and all you do is you run it along your crease. So it should look something like this. So now once you're done running it through your crease, you're going to take a blending brush and you're going to blend that black eyeshadow out. So as you can see, my crease is quite blended out. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit more of that black and do the same thing until I get a really intense crease. So I like my cut creases to be quite intense. So what I'm going to do is take the same brush and then just take the last of the black that's left on the brush, and I'm just going to blend it into my crease with this brush, so it makes my cut crease a bit more intense. This is how it looks once everything's blended, and once you're happy with the intensity of your cut crease, you're going to go onto your lid. What I'm going to use for my lid is this MAC Rubenesque. It's a paint pot, looks like this. And I'm just going to take this flat brush and I'm going to pack some of that Rubenesque onto my lid, making sure not to go into my cut crease area. So it would look like that. And then on top of that, I'm actually going to take another shadow. Let me see if I can show you this. It's this one over here. I don't know if that picks up on camera, but it's a very light, sparkly, peachy color. I'm just gonna pack that onto my lid as well. So once you're done with that, it looks kind of messy and like there's no sharp edges or anything. So what you're gonna do is take your concealer. I'm just gonna use my Eyeliner Pro concealer. And it comes with this brush tip already, which makes it really easy to use. And you're just going to go from the edge of your eye upward, so that it gives it that like clean, sharp edge, as you can see. And you're just going to take a flat brush and then just blend that out. So that's basically it for the eyeshadow. The next thing that I'm going to do is my liner. So I'm just going to use my MAC Black Track. It's just some gel liner and this brush, and I'm just gonna line my eyes. And also this sharp edge at the end makes it really easy to do a flick, so you just draw up and you just draw that flick in. Makes it really easy. So that is the liner done. So after I do my liner, I like to set it with a black eyeshadow. So what I'm going to do is take an angled brush and some black eyeshadow, and I just go over that line just to set it and make it extra black. That's all for now for the eyes. I'm going to continue after I've done the rest of my face. So the next thing that I'm going to do is my eyebrows. So I usually do my eyebrows with an eyebrow pencil, but I kind of lost my eyebrow pencil, so I'm just going to use this powder. This is MAC's charcoal brown powder, and I'm just going to use an angled brush. And I'm going to start filling in my eyebrow from the start till the end. Now I just take some black eyeshadow, but a very small amount, and I just fill in where it's a bit sparse. Just like that. And now all you're going to do is take some of your concealer and clean up around your eyebrow. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my Honey Bronze Highlighting Dome in the number 01. And I'm just going to take that same brush that I used for my concealer, and I'm going to pop it right underneath my brow bone and in the corner of my eye. So that's basically it for my eyes. So now what I'm going to do is the rest of my face. So I already did my foundation. What I use for my foundation is, first I used this Pro Conceal in green to hide all my redness, and then I used my L'Oreal True Match foundation. Next thing that I'm going to do is contour and highlight. What I use for my contour is this Pro Conceal by LA Girl. I love LA Girl Pro Concealer. And what I use for my highlight is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, which I used before. And then I just use this Florma Soft Beige on top of that because it just gives like a really nice color and a good shine, and it's perfect. To contour, I take my LA Girl Pro Conceal. You're going to pull this awkward pout face, and then you can basically see the hollows of your cheeks quite easily, so that's where you're going to line. So I find that this concealer dries quite quickly, so I'm going to blend that in. And to blend that in, I'm going to use this Real Techniques contour brush. And I'm just going to blend that. So when you blend your contour, you want to always blend upward and not downward, because you want all that color to stay upward. So you're just going to use small circular motions and blend in your contour. Now I'm going to contour my nose. Oh, what you're going to do when you contour your nose is you're going to go from the sides downward to make your nose look slimmer. Just like that. So what we are doing is we're making our nose smaller. Also, you want these lines to be quite straight, because if they're not straight, they're going to make your nose look hella skew. So I'm just going to take my brush from Real Techniques. This is the concealer brush, I think. Foundation brush, pointed foundation brush. And I'm just going to blend my nose contour in. And the last place that I'm going to contour is my forehead. So I put some over here, but a very little bit of contour, and then also along my hairline. And that also gives a slimming effect to your face. Next, I'm going to work on my highlight. So I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I'm just going to go underneath my eye. I find that this stuff is best to cover up under eye bags because it's so pigmented and it doesn't budge. Put it underneath my eye, and then I'll just take a little bit downward toward my cheek contour. So the next thing that I'm going to do is blend out my concealer. So what I use to do that is this cute little blender. I got this from Switch Beauty. I highly recommend it because it's so small and it's perfect for underneath your eyes, around your nose, around your mouth, and it's so cute. So I'm just going to blend that in. But that is my first highlight blended. The second one that I do is I use the Florma Soft Beige, and I'm just going to put that underneath my eye again. That under eye, the first one that I used was just for extra coverage. This is actually the highlight because it is lighter than my own skin tone. Then I'm gonna go on my forehead, down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. Ignore this huge second head that I'm growing on my chin. And then just on some on my cupid's bow. Now I'm just going to take the same small cute blender sponge, and also with these sponges you do want to use them damp, otherwise it's not going to blend well. So I'm just going to use this side for my chin and my forehead, and then the pointed edge for underneath my eyes. And now that my highlight and contour is blended in, I'm going to set it with powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bourgeois powder, and I'm going to use the same brush that I used to blend my contour. I'm just going to go over the contoured areas with a little bit of this powder. So to set my highlight, I'm going to use this white powder over here from my 17 Define and Conquer kit. So I know that a lot of us usually our concealer cakes underneath our eyes. So to prevent that, all you need is a damp blender, and you're just going to take some of that powder on your damp blender and you just pack that underneath your eyes, and you'll see that it will stay put for the whole day. So I'm just going to set the rest of my highlight. That's basically it for my contour and highlight for now. So the next thing that I'm going to do is finish off my eyes. So I'm going to take that same small blending brush and take some black, and go underneath my lash line. But I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm just going to go from the end to the middle, and you can bring that quite low down. I'm just going to take some of the stick kajal and I'm going to line my waterline. So now I'm just going to go back in with this blending brush and make sure that everything is well blended. And then for the other half that we left open, we're just going to take an angled brush and a lighter shade. I'm going to use that same peachy shade, and I'm going to go in on the other half. I just went in with that peachy shade underneath my eyes. It's actually, if you put a lighter shade on the inner corners, it makes your eyes look a lot bigger. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Essence Get Big Lashes, and I'm just going to coat my eyelashes. So now I'm going to use some eyelashes. This is Click's eyelashes, and it's Eyelashes Natural. Doesn't have a name, but it looks like that. Lots of people get a bit anxious when they try to put on lashes and say, oh, it's so difficult and stuff, but actually it's really easy. So all you do is you take your eyelash glue. I couldn't find mine that I usually use, so I'm just going to use this one that it comes with. It's just as good. So you're going to put some on your eyelash like that, just a small strip of glue, and you're just going to wait for about 30 seconds for it to get tacky, and then you're going to put it on your lash line. So it's really easy. All you do is you press it down as close to your lashes as possible. So what I do is I first stick my middle, and then I'll go to the edges. It's that easy to put on false eyelashes, and it looks so nice. I love this pair because it's natural. I love my eyelashes to look natural. I don't like the big like really dense lashes. I'm just gonna do the same with my other lash. So that is my eyelashes done. So now what I'm gonna do is take my liner and my brush, and I'm just gonna draw a bit of a point in my tear duct area, just to give my eye that cat eye shape. So now I'm going to add some blush and then some highlighter. So I'm just going to use this contour face brush by Beauty, and I'm going to take a mixture of this light pink brush and this darker blush, and I'm just going to sweep that from the apples of my cheeks to the top. Now I'm going to use my Honey Bronze highlighter in the color 01, and I'm just going to use my finger and I'm going to go on the high points of my cheeks and down the bridge of my nose. So the last thing that I'm going to do are my lips. So I'm going to use a liner for my lips. This is Spice by MAC, and I'm just going to line my lips. So I'm going to use a combination of MAC Spice Lip Pencil and Cherish by MAC. Cherish is a bit lighter than the MAC Spice Lip Pencil, so I'm going to ombre my lips. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go over the edges like that. And then you take your lipstick and you go in the center. So if you are like me and you want some extra shine, just use another highlight. I use this one. It's actually a powder highlight. It's Soft and Gentle by MAC. And I'll just take a brush. And I'm just going to pop that highlight on my cheekbones. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you soon. Bye!